Hello, everyone. My name is Blerta. I am an artist. I also have run my own radio program, and I'm happy to have the honor to host this conversation with this person that grew up in London, UK, before moving to the USA, teaching, traveling around the world, opened his personal exhibition in Albania with images from 5 continents and over 70 different countries. His love of storytelling, experiencing culture, travel, spirituality, and diversity have been the foundation of his first novel, The Happiness of Many Lives. An artist, inspirer, dream maker, a friend. So get comfy because this speaker has a wonderfully world experience over the last 30 years to share with us. Andrew Griffiths.
Thank you, Blerta, for that lovely introduction. I'm excited to talk to you today.
You're welcome. So, Andy, today we're going to talk about the book, and you're going to read with us some short pieces from your book. So, tell us a little bit, what is the book about?
Well, it's called The Happiness of Many Lives, and the idea of it really came out of my experiences and my interest in old places. You know, I don't know if you've ever felt this, Blerta, but you go somewhere that's very old, and there's that sense of other people that have been there that you don't even know. Maybe there's the old walls or the old floors or some old statues, and they've been there for hundreds of years. And other people with their own lives, with their own happinesses and sadnesses, have been in those places, have stood in the same place as you. And so the idea really came out of this sort of connection that we have through time in these different places. And so that really is the essence of the book, is who do we connect with our shared experiences or our shared places? Why do we connect with them, and how do we connect with them? And in the book, I use the idea of this sort of hands through time. So not in a scary way or in a ghostly way, but in this sort of way of we're reaching out and connecting with these people that have gone before us. And I wanted to explore that. And that's what the book's about.
So it's really interesting now. I personally have read the book, and I found many characters in there, but one of them is Johnny. So tell me more about your main character, like Johnny.
Yeah, so Johnny is a struggling young man. He is the main character in the book, and we meet him just as he's been ordered to start court therapy because he's having a really hard time managing with his life. A lot of anger, a lot of frustration. And so part of his story is told through his journal. He has to keep a journal as part of his therapy. And so we get to see his inner workings and how he's struggling with a lot of these questions about how he fits in with the world and how he's connected to the world. So if I may, I'd like to read a little bit from his journal for you, okay? So this part of the book is he has been asked to go to a therapy group to work on his feelings. He had one experience there. It was a terrible experience. He left full of frustration, and this is his follow-up therapy session with his therapist. Okay? Therapy with Lisa today. The first one after the phone calls, yeah. So, well, it ended up, I think, being pretty okay with Lisa, except for a couple of things. We explored me calling so many times, as well as my behavior or my choices that I had demonstrated. For the record, these include the following: the obsessiveness of my thoughts, my inability to let my thoughts go or manage them, my anger, my abusive language. She basically told me that the yelling and swearing was not okay, and that we could learn from it and move on. And we talked a lot. So that was mostly okay, except when she said that we could move on and use it as a learning opportunity, there was this little pause. Not even that big, but it was there. And it seemed to me that we would be okay this time, but maybe we would not always be okay. But maybe if I continue to make these choices again and again, maybe there will be a time when we wouldn't be okay. It would be anything but. A pause as a warning, a pause as a threat. I decided to move on. And so we talked about the group, and we talked about how it had gone. And that led to the second weird thing, because now it's bothering me. Am I banned from the group? What if I wanted to go back? Can they do that? Because you see, I don't think they can. I think if the therapist says you go, then you go. They can't say no. Like, they can't overrule the therapist or something. That's just wrong. That's wrong. So there's a little bit from Johnny.
And Johnny is not the only character in your book. You have times. So why are they in the book? Tell us more about them.
So the book has different periods represented, and there are 4 other characters from those periods, kind of working on that connection through time. So through the story, interspersed with Johnny's story, we meet 4 other characters. There's Amira. She is an ostracized villager living in Ethiopia in the 19th century. And at a time in Ethiopia when the Catholic Church was sending missionaries and priests there to try and convert the Ethiopians from the Coptic Church to Catholicism. And so her story and her challenges are set around this sort of time when there was a lot of conflict with religion in Ethiopia. The second character is from the Silk Road in 15th century China. His name is Wang Xiaoxiao, and he is a slave boy on a caravan that goes along the Silk Road. At the time, it was very common practice for slave boys to make eunuchs. And so he's been taken from his home when he was very young, made a eunuch, and now is in slavery. And so he's struggling to figure out where he is, what his life was like, where he came from, where he's going. The third character is Eric. He's a boy in 16th century England, lives in poverty with his mother. It's a time when smallpox is endemic, and so there's a lot of sickness and illness. And his mother is a storyteller, and so she uses stories and fables to try and inspire him to find a way out of his situation. The last main character is Kalani, and he is a kahuna, an apprentice to a kahuna in Hawaii, right around the end of the 18th century. And that's a time with a lot of conflict in Hawaiian history, when the Europeans were arriving, and a lot of those tribal beliefs and ancient customs were shifting. And so Kalani is also dealing with that. So all those characters are really looking at trying to find their place in the world, trying to understand where they fit in, and trying to find their path forward. And so those are the stories that connect through Johnny, through time, to create the story of the happiness of many lives.
Then maybe would you like to share something about Amira? Yes. It looks like very interested when you described her and her story about it.
Thank you. Yes, I will. So this is a short piece about Amira. Wherever I look, wherever I go, there's the tree. Its presence speaks to me, yet robs me of any peace. It says, Amira, climb me, but I know this is a lie. I try and ignore it, but some days I want to take my little firewood axe and start at the base of that tree and hack away. It would take much time, maybe weeks of my life, to cut through the trunk with this little axe. My hands would be bloody and twisted, but I wouldn't stop. People would come by and say, Amira, what is your issue? What has that tree ever done to you? But I would continue my attack, wiping the sweat from my brow until that day when the tree wakes up and groans and shivers and starts to move. And then I can scream, Amira, you have won, as that tree, my tree, makes its final journey, hits the ground, and tastes the red dirt that the rest of us live with. No longer above us all, now dry and dying and covered in dust. And I would throw down that axe, fall onto my knees, and place my bloody, blistered hands on the trunk and raise my head to the sky. My howl would shake the branches of the bushes and smaller trees for miles around, and they would tremble at Amira and her axe, and I would wail at my loss and at my tree, for my tree was dead.
Not only a good writer, but also an amazing interpreter. I just enjoyed that, even though the story has the sad part in it, that's life. But you're very good, Andy. Like, I wanted this not to end while you're interpreting your
Thank you.
own piece. So there are some themes through the book. Can you tell us about those, please?
Yes, so one of the ways I try and work on that connection is obviously through my characters, through the places too, but also through themes. And one of the themes that I found particularly interesting is the three hairs symbol. And it's at least in the West, we consider it a Christian symbol. But I found it so interesting as I started to investigate this more. Let me show you what that looks like. So this is a three hair symbol. A lot of people in the West might know it in churches, and the three hairs running together with those ears joined together is supposed to represent the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. However, this symbol is also found in ancient Buddhist caves in China from the 6th to 7th century. It's been found in Mongolia on metalwork. It's also in the Middle East on coins. It's also in synagogues in 16th century Judaism. So it's around the world, but researchers and historians don't actually know how this symbol has become connected from different places and different religions in different times. And so this image, this symbol, runs through the book as a way to connect the themes, and there are several other themes like that, but I found this one particularly interesting.
I think that the readers are going to find it interesting as well once they have your book. The interview for today has come to an end, and I will mention one of your quotes: an interconnected story of heartache, resilience, and finding the courage to be you. That was great. Thank you for sharing with us a piece of your book. Stay tuned with the back. We will be back again for the next video with Andy.
Thank you very much, Blerta. I'm going to finish up by sharing ways to get a hold of me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. I'm an Amazon author, I'm on Goodreads, and I also have a website. So please feel free to connect with me. There's my website, Facebook, Amazon, there's my email, or any other way you can find through those links. Thank you so much, Blerta, for giving me this opportunity today.
Thank you to you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.